What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we do our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate investors, entrepreneurs like, and the cryptocurrency world because crypto has the juiciest, biggest opportunities and nothing's even close. Welcome along on the journey. You guys make the show. We appreciate you showing up here and participating in the comments and the live shows. Thanks for being here. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely. Corey Geary here. And as always, we're always so blessed to be on this journey with all you fine men, women, children, where we're going to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool, what we're very passionate about, and using some real world assets like real estate as a wealth preservation. And imagine, guys, if you can, selling some of that crypto at the top of the bull, rolling it over into real estate, and then coming back in a year later in the bottom of the bear where you maybe sold some of that real estate and come back into crypto and doing all this tax free. We are working on a product right now that allows you to do just that. Imagine just not being able to pay taxes. Well, we're passionate about that because we feel like the real way to create wealth in your life is by, first of all, keeping all the wealth. That's the hardest part sometimes because, Uncle Sam has some greedy hands. And so, but in the meantime, yes, this is where cryptocurrency, we feel like, is the biggest opportunity of our lifetimes where we can change the trajectory of ours, our families, our friends' families' lives. And it's just going to be a blast. And we're glad and blessed to be on this journey with you guys. We have D Nice in the house, and we have the Ink Maxi. He is early, man. The Ink Maxi is usually coming in at the top of the hour.
What's up, guys? Glad to have you here. What's up, my fellow Inkanites? I like it.
Inkanites, man. Briz, I'm still doing some farming right now with my Ink and PulseX pair there, farming it away while we're sitting around these like boring sideways, I feel like it's a good time for farming. But when we go risk on again and prices start flying again, I am not going to be in the farms.
No, agreed. In fact, we talked about the PulseX Ink farm here. I think I've been in it. You've been in it a little longer than me, Corey, but I've been in about coming up on a month. I think we talked about it on our show about a month ago. And I'll show you guys. It's been pretty slick. The impermanent loss here has been very minor, which is important to be able to make sure that you understand that when you're farming, unless, of course, you're wanting the impermanent loss where there's scenarios where you do. So let me pull up.
That's what you call impermanent gain.
That's right, impermanent gains.
Maybe you want to hold more ink versus PulseX and accumulate a little bit more. Well, right now, that's what you're gaining more ink the way the price chart is moving versus PulseX. So, yeah.
Yep. All right, let me share this one right here. Should be this chart. There we go. So here is ink in PulseX terms. And you can see, it's been running pretty well sideways since clear back here in, what is this, April, the beginning of April. So was that April, May, June, July, August? About 4 months so far right now. And we talked about this, I think, right in here. Like I said, it's been about a month for me. So I got in right over here. You can see, and if you guys are not aware of this, you want to make sure that when you come in and you're farming, you want the stuff to move pretty close to sideways in relationship to one another. And that's what we've largely been getting here, which has been nice. That mitigates your impermanent loss if your goal is to make fees and not experience losses. This is a good example of what that's kind of looked like here. It's been really pretty slick.
Yeah. And if you get a little permanent loss, it's not the end of the movie, because ideally, hopefully you made enough in fees to make up for that little impermanent loss. And with this pair, Dana, what I like about it is that, you are you okay with holding more Pulse-X than you started with, or vice versa? Are you okay with holding more Ink? I mean, for me, I'm pretty equally bullish on both of those assets. Like, I don't know which one to be a little bit more bullish on. I mean, people could say Ink. You could argue Ink, but I also seen the wallet that likes to buy, like to buy Pulse-X, and he's been doing a great job at supporting Pulse-X in the price chart. In fact, the Pulse-X probably has one of the strongest price charts out of all the RH assets. So I don't know. It's hard to say which one is I'm more bullish on. So like, even if you got held, hold if you're holding a little bit more than the other, is it going to hurt you? Probably not in this scenario. This is not always the case with the liquidity providing, though, right? This is, usually you got one asset where like you do not want to be holding more of. That's how usually most liquidity providing is, and this is not that. So yeah, I'm feeling comfy, just hanging out, providing liquidity with my bag here, and we'll see what happens.
Right. On the charts, at least on the Pulse chart, we still got lower highs and lower lows with this more recent dip. It's rounding off, but man, I get the sneaking suspicion, and I'm no chart wizard. I could totally be wrong on this, but I think that it's more like we had a bounce, which is cool with the rest of the market bouncing today. So far, we're red, and I think we're going to go down, and I think we're going to go down some more. I really do. I'm hopeful we hold the bottom. Here, let me go ahead and I'm not even.
I think we will hold the bottom. There's definitely opportunity to go and do a double bottom. We kind of almost did that. We wicked down there.
We're darn close. So this blue line right here, depending upon how you want to measure, I mean, I drew this down here on the candle bodies. So in fact, let's move it right about there. So this is the low, and you can see, yeah, we pretty close wicked right to it, but price tends to like to revisit wicks.
Sure does.
So, I'm thinking there's a case where we probably I'm thinking we go down, I think we go back down here near this low again, and then everyone pray that we hold. Pray that we hold, or we get maybe a spring. We come down just a hair lower, and then that's our spring. We'll see. But today, Corey named the show the Money Printers. The Money Printers are coming back on, so we named the show after that, or at least publicly they are coming back on. It sounds like the guys have been doing something rather than quantitative easing. They've been using the T-bills in a little bit different way to essentially do the same type of thing, and they've been doing that for a while. So I watched a really good video a few days ago. The person that made the video was speculating that that's why it's been feeling like a recession, but the market has been, still relatively robust. And so, how much money printing do they really need to go and do in order for us to get a bull run here? That remains to be seen. I'm curious to see what happens. So, yeah, what do you think, Corey?
I mean, they're buying back $46 billion in government, the T-bills. So again, buying $46 billion government debt starting today. Treasury buyback. It's called the Treasury Buyback Program. That's just a way to stimulate the economy and inject money back into the economy itself and support. This is pretty bullish. We'll see what it does for markets as a whole, right? How does it affect the S&P 500? That's going to be the big question, right? How well that's going to, and does it stop any other cracks, right? Or any other things failing that we have, that are unseen right now, like other, like banks failing or big corporations. That's usually when you see a recession happen, you have something comes out like big giant corporation goes bankrupt, or some bank goes bankrupt, or implodes. And so we haven't really seen one of those type events yet.
Well, you've
But
been seeing the symptoms of it, and those symptoms are evident in the jobs report, right? With
right.
with unemployment rising, and so if they print more money, does that make companies more bullish, where they're willing to hire more? I'm really curious, and here's the biggest takeaway, in my opinion, is if they're going to be buying more T-bills, there's going to be an influx of capital. In addition, you saw the Japanese market, they went ahead and immediately pulled back on their rate hike. They did like a quarter or half a point rate hike, and then the markets, got scared and they immediately pulled it back. And so, man, if this is the case, then I've got news for you guys. Fiat in general is screwed. We've all known this for a long time. But I think this is one of those catalysts, those points in times where a lot of people, it's been a gradual enough decline of your buying power that we've all been kind of like frogs in a pot of water that's turned on slowly to boil. And I've got news for you. I think the temperature is going to rise much more rapidly here if they continue this. And you need to have capital in places that can hold value and not be, at least for me, I will be less cash heavy with some of this and be looking to buy more assets with them, turning the money printers back on, at least longer term. Right now, I'm sitting on more cash because I want to wait and see how the markets react to this. But man, the fiat currencies will only continue to get more devalued. And if you know how to position yourself appropriately, that actually can be an all right thing. For instance, I read a really good book about the collapse of Zimbabwe. I've talked about this on the show a few times, but it was really interesting. Some of the biggest winners that came from that were people that were borrowing at a fixed rate. They were borrowing debt in the fiat currency, and then they were taking that and they were buying assets that were pacing with inflation or even becoming more valuable. And so you're taking, I mean, seriously, imagine taking $100,000 loan and paying it back after it's been devalued 10 times. Well, that's easy money. You know what I mean? And so I think there's a lot of things to look at and consider how you're positioning yourself if you have extra funds and managing risk well.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
No.
And most of our guys who watch the show, that's what they do.
Agreed.
That is what they do.
Crypto Bigfoot here. Yeah. People will be very mad if we go lower. That being said, I'm telling you guys, it's interesting to see how the charts have responded. We haven't had as big a push down as frankly I thought this news would make us. So we talked about this yesterday. We're largely out of quote unquote weaker hands at this point, that we could go up even if we kind of come down and touch these lows or go down a little bit more for potential spring. I don't know, but I think that what do you think about this, Corey? If the economy as a whole isn't rowing with us and Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't going up, I just don't think we see that. I don't think we see that spring.
No, well, yeah. Why would we? We're just going to continue sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean,
or go lower. Yeah.
Yeah, and to Hans's point, like he thinks we're going to continue sideways all the way till the end of the year. I mean,
that'd be great for our farms. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, you're making a lot of extra money on the side that you don't need to bring in new capital for. That part is nice. Right. If we're going to stay in the sideways zone, I'm with you, Dane. I'm going to keep my farm just cooking away, and then by the time we do go up, I'll have that much more ink.
Yep, agreed.
I didn't have to buy it. I love that. Nothing like free money, man.
Free money. That's exactly right. Some good news is Pulse Chain continues to outpace ETH. We got another green day versus ETH.
I'll show that one. Show the secret
fascinating
chart.
to
Show the secret chart.
fascinating to watch. Yeah, I mean, what is that? 1, 2, 3, we're 4 green days in a row against ETH. Which
It's
this
great.
is actually so here's an interesting scenario, Corey. Like Richard more recently, the last few days, tweeted about how he essentially tweeted it. Well, this wasn't word for word verbatim, but he essentially went and said that that Pulse Chain was outpacing Ethereum. And I would go so far as to say, if you can just keep pace with Ethereum until there's an inflection point where markets want to rise, or you can continue to outpace it a little bit. That's a reason for marketing. Like that's good marketing. That's good optics to be able to say, "Hey, Ethereum bros, we're doing better over here. Come and check out your free coins." Like I think that works. And so if I was making markets, I would be considering that possibility and what would it take to be able to do that? Where do we stand? It'll be really interesting. I think we'll know a lot more over the next few months. But yeah, right now this is really bullish for Pulse Chain outpacing ETH, which is great.
It is. Now we need freaking ETH to do something, man. ETH is like, that meme when the guy with the stick is poking something and he's like, do something. Yeah, like that's what I feel like ETH is right now, man. They're just like, you were supposed to, get the ETF and all this bullish momentum. And I know Bitcoin took a whole month before it started moving, but man, it just feels like ETH is just like not wanting to do anything. It's just, boy,
just hanging out.
It is, yeah, it is just. I hope RH is dollar cost averaging these lows because he could get that $3,700 buy price down if he were to DCA at 2,500, 2,300. He could bring that buy price down significantly.
Right. And we're red on ETH again today too. So we had that bounce, but you could see it just there's still plenty of sell pressure. Yeah. Have you seen is Grayscale out of ETH yet? Do we know that one?
I think up to like recently, yeah. Same with that trade company. What was their name?
Jump Trading.
They're out. I think they're out too. I think they're out. So
that'd be great.
Yeah, if ETH could go up now, that'd be great.
Yeah, seriously. Chad, so here's a question for you guys. We talked about this a little bit yesterday too, but like what would give us another big drawdown? Like that was pretty as fuddy as it gets, like as much FUD as you could muster. That was a pretty good one over the last few days. You get a World War III, but what else?
The only thing if we get a World War III, Dane, then I might say like, okay, you're going below the low, kind of creating a spring or whatever. I could see that happening with a World War III type FUD.
Sure.
Otherwise, I don't think we're going to go down there. I think we're just going to hang out where we're at and kind of coast sideways. And it's very apparent that we are out of the sellers. We took the most we had the most downward pressure out of all the crypto assets, I think, when we were going through the little recession scare. I mean, there wasn't much more. I mean, we had sell pressure, but all we did was revisit pricing that we had already visited like a month prior. It wasn't like anything new or anything out of the ordinary.
Agreed. Right. And you're starting to see, I mean, we've talked about this a lot of times too. I could share this again, share this one. I mean, you could see, and most of the RH tickers we're just looking at Pulse Chain because most of them look this way, but you can see how the chart seems to be running out of sellers. Make no mistake about it, things can always go lower, but it looks like we're largely running out of sellers. Something like, we can look at it here, something like Ink and PulseX are holding up better. Let's look.
Yeah, they're holding up phenomenally.
Yeah, so I mean, you can see this is ink. You can see it's holding well above its low here. I mean, it's freaking, let's see. It's low right here. You're about, what is that? I mean, you're like almost about a 4x off the lows, and it's holding this beautifully. Pulse chain is still largely trending down. You have this lower low here. This though, like this one's a higher low over here. That's good.
Hmm.
The pulse chain chart, it just keeps putting in lower lows, but this one, this is a higher low. This could W out of here potentially. But like, yeah, we're looking good on these ones. It's that pulse chain chart that still is trending downwards. I'd like to see that one. I'd like to see that one reverse, man.
Yeah, put some better market structure in.
Yeah, exactly. What here's a question for you, Corey. Why do you think that Hex and Pulse lag when the RH tickers pump? Have you thought about this so much? What are your thoughts?
I mean, a little bit. One, Pulse is because, it's the heaviest of all of them, right? It's the biggest one. And it's probably the least amount of fun to hold, right? Like I feel like PulseX and Ink with the narratives of, PulseX, the buy and burn, and with the privacy pools coming to PulseX, Ink, people speculate that it could be part of the wallet. There's just fun things that people like to speculate on and narratives to spin up. They're just narratives is all they are. Where Pulse doesn't have that. Pulse is it's a utility token, man. Pulse is a utility token. It's the layer one. It's the spear, right? We do need it to move, but it will probably move the least amount. Least amount comparison to PulseX and Ink.
I mean, Ink's heavier, which is kind of interesting.
Ink
and PulseX are both heavier
than Pulse.
Yeah, look at that.
The market cap is bigger on Pulse.
Oh, I got you. I'm talking more from a liquidity perspective, right.
No, the market cap and the people who, the amount of people.
I mean, look at PulseX, according to Deck Screener, 3.26 billion, whereas Pulse is 342 million.
Those are incorrect. They're
not those are the GoPulse website would have it, right?
You'd have to go to GoPulse. Yeah, I think PulseX is like 200 million or something like that, and Pulse is like, I want to say 600 million, something like that is what the market caps are respectively. And then like with Ink being like, I don't know, 140 million, maybe 50 million, not sure, but yeah, I mean that's why Pulse, right? Now Hex, that's another story. There's a lot of just PTSD with Hex, a lot of just sharks who like to sell that down. That's a whole nother story in itself. I still feel like Hex will be the lagger of all of them coming in this market cycle. And I hope I'm wrong, but and I hold bags of Hex just in case I am wrong, because I'm not here to be right or wrong about anything. I'm not here to make money, so I'm gonna hold Hex just in case I am wrong. But my theory is, just because I've seen the way the market reacts, even when the wallet likes to pump Hex, the market sells it off into PulseX and Ink. And it's just because the market is just tired of being dumped on by the Hex sharks and all the inflation that's coming out. So I think Hex will be fine, but I think it'll be the least amount of gainers out of all four tickers here. That's my opinion.
That's what's been doing so far, yeah.
And like I said, I don't need to be right or wrong about this. If I'm wrong, I'm perfectly fine being wrong because I hold bags of Hex. So, but yeah.
I like this take from Tin Top. Yeah, I'm still enjoying my weekend DCAs, but I've seen a couple market watchdogs saying we're going to have another drawdown. Pell may throw a big FU to those assuming rates are going to drop. Yeah, it definitely could happen. I agree. Like in general, I don't feel like we're out of the woods. I feel pretty comfy being patient and
Yeah, me
cautious.
too.
And yeah, it'll be interesting. I think in a few more months we'll have some more clarity, or at least I'm hopeful that we will. But for now, yeah, I'm seeing plenty of people that think the market's going to die and implode and there will be no more highs, and certainly some people that are more bullish. But gosh, like yeah, I'm comfortable being more patient.
Plus, we can afford the luxury to be patient because we have bags.
Right.
Like, if you didn't have bags, then it's like, okay, you might want to come up with a good DCA strategy, but we have bags, and so like we can just chill now if we want for the entirety of the bull run. I mean, and we can afford that luxury now because we put in so much DCA and work. I
Right.
mean, I've done a lot of buying.
Done plenty of buying. That's for sure. I'm with you.
I'm fine just hanging out right now. And farming, my bags are still getting bigger from farming. So that part's nice. And I'm still node validating, and I single site stake my hex. That's what I'm doing to create more, more free money, if you will.
That's right. That's right. Do you think Pulse Chain is dead, Corey?
No, I don't know what the heck that.
No, we don't think that.
I would if you saw my portfolio, sir, you would think I'm probably a little bit nuts, actually.
Agreed. This is a good one. At what point do you start to DCA out? Is it more the price or the time of the year in 2025? Just curious. I give you my thoughts, and Corey can add his as well. So, I mean, our plan has always been to make it to 2025. And based upon previous cycles and things of that nature, it's looking like here at the beginning of 2025, maybe the end of this year. Sami's talked about it a lot. We theoretically should have an altcoin run here sometime between now and the end of the year if this were like previous cycles, and there would be a profit taking opportunity there, and then a drawdown, and then another opportunity to buy a bottom before one more push up sometime into the middle or end of next year. Yep. So, I think that you've got to have a plan of how you want to be doing things. I can tell you that well, I can speak for both of us on this, and that we'll definitely be taking some profits when we run again, and yeah, making some decisions in that respect. So have a plan and make sure that you can follow it. You have rules in place to be able to know what it needs to look like for you to take profits, and don't be somebody that round trips this one.
Yeah. Pay yourself, please. That's why you come in and do all this. That's why we take the risk. That's why we sit through all this craziness of volatility. Like, pay yourself, guys. Don't go sticking all your stuff 5555. That's absolutely insanity. You want to pay yourself. You want to have liquid bags ready to go for this market cycle. Okay, you and your family, deserve it.
Agreed. Let me grab this one right here. Paul makes a great point. He says, let me grab this.
I sure hope it
does. Yeah, more time goes onward, more likely our chart mimics something like Matic from 2021 cycle, which would be cool with me. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I've talked to Frank about this. Frank was in Matic last cycle, and he's like, yeah, the sentiment was very similar. He goes like, it was like a year and there was nothing going on. Everyone was complaining. Everybody was leaving the community. Everybody thought it was dead. Like, it's funny. It resonates exactly with what's going on right now in our ecosystem. And he says, all of a sudden, it just exploded. He says it just exploded out of the middle of nowhere. And yeah, so it'd be interesting. We follow something very similar. And it's just all about the cycle, right? Where we're at in the cycle. And maybe that's how, I haven't looked at the Matic chart, but it'd be interesting to see where Matic was born in the cycle and where it exploded at in the cycle. And I'd be willing to bet if it's what following suit like we are, it probably was born in the part of the cycle that didn't make a whole lot of sense, kind of like pulse chain. And, when the time was right, the time was right.
Agreed. If you're looking at Polygon, let's look at that. There we go. And then let's look for, hold on, I'll pull this up. This will be interesting to see. All right.
Oh, yeah, my camera just went off. Can you still hear me?
Yep, we got you. We can hear you.
If I can get my monitor back on.
In fact, I'm curious, how long did it take? In fact, maybe Paul, you know this data. How long did it take from the Bitcoin halving last time around for Matic to really like go and do something? Do you have that data handy? I'm curious. Appreciate you being here, Chad. This is cool. Yeah. One of the best streamers and some of the best streamers in the community. We appreciate you guys. We try to cut through the narratives and see the trees through the forest. Crypto 7's here. I like this. Yeah, Ethereum down 4% today. Pulse down 1%. It does seem like the sellers are running out of gas. It really does. We saw. So one thing I would say to exercise caution with this idea is we saw some of the market makers support the price of Hex at certain levels until it was just apparent that there was too much sell pressure at those levels, and then we went lower. And that absolutely could happen here, where it feels like we're running out of sellers. That could feel that way because market makers are eating up the sell pressure. Question is, is it worth it? Is it worth it to continue to eat up sell pressure here? Or do you let it go and find another low? I don't know. But, man, we're here for it. We're here for it. I think if I were to guess, I think it's more likely that the bottom's in or at least we're really close to it. That's what I'd say. What do you guys think, though? I'm curious. You guys think we're close to the bottom? You think the bottom's in? What's the over-under? Tell me in the comments. Say the bottom's in or we go lower. Which one do you think? I'm curious. Yeah, Brett. I hope we get a W out of here. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to get to the up only part of the cycle. That would be great. So here's an interesting one. I've thought about this a lot. Crypto 7. Yeah, if I were a big ETH whale, I'd be buying Pulse. If I had a huge stack, I would manage that stack differently than the one that I've got, because I don't have 10 million plus sitting on the blockchain. There we go. We got you back. Right. If I had 10 million plus sitting on the blockchain over on ETH, I would definitely be open to buying Pulse, but I would want to manage risk well. There's still some things like, if you're not somebody like Crypto 7 or us, and we've been here a while, we believe in this, we like Richard. If you're not one of those people and you've got huge bags, I think it's pretty fair to say, hey, I'm willing to wait around for some more clarity around the case. I'm willing to wait around for some more clarity about what the market's doing, because you don't need to buy the perfect bottom. But man, I think there's plenty of people waiting around on the sidelines for more clarity in general, clarity about the markets, clarity about the case. And they'll miss out on some of these bottom buying opportunities, which is fine. You don't have to be the perfect bottom, but I think there's plenty of big bag holders that want more clarity. And once we get that, it'll be interesting to see how the market reacts.
I think it's coming too. I think that clarity is coming. Like, there's just too much case law and too much going on with the SEC and stupid Gary Gensler. Speaking of which, I'm wearing that shirt again. Nice. You guys like that? If you guys want to give the SEC the middle finger, just go buy Pulse Chain. That's like the big FU to Gary Seaman Gensler, Seaman Demon.
Seaman Demon. Oh man.
But the clarity
Yeah, this is Chad. When Corey buys a Corvette, it's time to get out. Absolutely,
Matching Corvettes again. Yeah, let's do it. Me and
absolutely.
Dane will buy matching Corvettes.
That's
That
right.
would
We'll
be
get a
fun.
top signal. This is okay. This is good. So Paul says, yeah, Polygon Matic ranged sideways for about 600 days between 1 and 3 cents. Then it ran with Bitcoin starting in January 2021.
Mm.
Cool. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't complain about having a long-term farming expedition, just hanging out, making rewards. That'd be fine for the time being. In fact, I'd like to see the chart kind of run sideways. We're still in a downtrend for some of this stuff. So I want to see that like truly reverse, feel confident about a little bit more sideways action. But yeah, that wouldn't be a terrible scenario. Just less down only, sir. Give us less down only.
That's it. Like if you want to hang out and go sideways for the next few months, totally cool with that.
Mhm. Yeah, we don't talk about this a lot in, in my relationship. We don't talk about this a lot. It's better for our marriage. Uh,
She
this is
just
actually
trusts you, Dane.
That's right. That's right. As long as the bills are paid, everybody's happy. That's what matters.
That's
That's what
Matt.
matters. What's your thought? Oh, this was actually really cool. I don't think I have the tweet handy, but essentially what Mitch is referring to, the Trump sons came out and said how they've fallen in love with DeFi and that there's big
Mhm.
things coming. I would say we need to get Trump in office first before. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of things where there will be clarity here in a few months. So, who is the new president? What do they want to do? Um, yeah, I think it would be great to have a Trump. It'd be great for our bags to have somebody like a Trump in office. And then, yeah, do they do something for crypto? Do they do something for DeFi? Yeah, Donald Trump speak at the Bitcoin conference, and it was really positive. But at least to me, it felt very apparent that he doesn't know anything about crypto. Like, he's your average normie that's seen it. Had somebody create an NFT collection for him, but he doesn't know anything about it. And so it's good to see his sons that are younger, from a younger generation, really bullish on it and excited. Something like this, I think, is important. So this makes me feel really good in the long term if Trump can get into office.
You see that Trump Jr. is following Richard Hart?
Yeah, and what's that tweet? I've seen it go around more recently. Was that tweet where he talked about how Richard was being unfairly treated? Was that real or was that fake? Do you
It
know?
was real, but the account was hacked.
Oh, okay.
That was a real tweet out of his Twitter. But yeah, that account was hacked at that period of time.
Okay, gotcha.
But he's still following Richard Hart. Like he follows him. That's very interesting.
It is interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now reading the tea leaves.
That's all you can do,
Reading.
man, is kind of like piece the puzzle pieces together, man.
Yep, agreed. Next week, this will be a lot of fun. Is we're gonna have Dylan and Buck come and jump on the show next week. We'll talk about markets. We'll talk about whether or not utility tokens are dead, or if there's a future for them. That'll be a fun discussion to kind of poke through. So you guys make sure to come there and give us your insights. I'm curious what conclusions we come to there. If you haven't already seen, Dylan and Buck are wizards when it comes to the market. They've had some very good calls when the rest of the community thought that we were going up only. They were the ones that oftentimes have called tops and even some of these bottoms. And so you'll want to tune in there. That's great if you're not familiar with those guys. And then when are we having Stoic on, Corey?
I gotta message
Next
him
week?
on Monday to schedule a time. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Stoic is behind the 0x Coast protocol, which shout out to those guys. If you guys haven't used it in onboarding money to Pulse Chain, it is way easier than freaking
Oh,
Coinbase or Kraken or one of these others. It's slick. and it's nice. Early next week. Okay, cool.
There
Yeah,
he
let's
is.
do it. We look forward to having you on, brother. That'll be really cool. If you haven't checked out these guys' platform, it is the best way to onboard fiat to Pulse Chain in our opinions, and it's not even close. It's great.
This may be the protocol that really, pushes Pulse Chain to, full adoption level, right? Where retail can come in and participate in Pulse Chain like they would in any other, like, crypto.com or Coinbase, or it's literally that easy for people to onboard into Pulse Chain using their protocol, using the Coast front end. I still have an account with Coast. I loved them when they were up and operational. In fact, that's how I did all my DCAing back in the day. And then when they obviously had to take a hiatus, I started using Coinbase again. I started using Kraken again. But as soon as they're up and going
Painful
again,
to go backwards, man. Painful.
that's such a smooth onboarding process with your money going through their protocol, and it works like butter. It really
Agreed.
does. So yeah, and what a good time at the bottom of the price chart. If they could come out and allow Americans to come back in again. I'm speculating. We'll see what what these guys got going on under the hood. But once that happens again, man, down to the bottom of the price chart. So you want to talk about like onboarding? This is the time to onboard when we're at the bottom of the price chart. And if you use something like a Coast platform where somebody can really understand, use it with ease, like this is what we need. This is how you get full adoption. This is how you get retail to come in and buy up all our stuff, the stuff that we love. So yeah, super excited for these guys and what they do. They do a lot of work, man. I would not want to do the work that he does.
So much work.
Phenomenal the amount of work he has put in for this ecosystem, this community, and for the help number go up. Like that's what he's doing out here. He's out there helping money come in. Like there's not a lot of people out there helping facilitate money coming into our ecosystem like this.
Agreed.
He not at his level. I mean that's a whole nother level what he does. And so our hats are off to you, sir. When we are super excited when you're ready to come on the show. Reach out in the beginning of next week.
Yeah, in fact, if you're still here, Beyond All is asking when can U.S. residents use it, though. It's supposed to be within the next 48 hours, I think you're saying, Corey, right?
Yep. He up to Stoic to, let everybody know, and he's ready to go.
Yeah. Can you confirm one way or another? We thinking early within the next couple of days? That would be slick.
That would be slick. Days, not weeks. Hey, that's good enough. Because instead of 2 more weeks, maybe 2 more days, right?
Yep. Agreed.
I'm creating the tutorial now. I'm excited. Man.
Yeah, that'll be sweet. We look forward to it. Who is Dev Mikey, Corey?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, who is this in top? In fact, if you guys have people that you want to come on that we should interview, we're definitely open to people that you want to have come on. Now I want to quantify that. We've had plenty of people want to come on and show their shit coins, and we prefer to be selective about those things, but also open-minded at the same time. So don't send us all your shit coiners. But we try to be
wrong with shit coins. I'm okay with shit coins, but if we had every shit coiner on this show, dang, we'll never have a show anymore.
Yeah, agreed.
But the show will be taken over.
Agreed. And this is, we just can't say enough good stuff about the guys over at Coast. The customer service has been great. I've had a couple of things where I got stuck, and a lot of the time I got a response like within minutes, which was freaking awesome. I wasn't expecting that, but a lot of time I got unstuck within minutes. Sometimes it took an extra day, which is fine, and I was right and back on my way. So really slick. Once again, really appreciate these guys. Okay, I'll have to go back and look at this. Yeah, had him on showing people how to increase their bags across pulse chain defense.
That's called DCA, sir. That's called DCA.
I'll have to go. I mean, one of the tricky things that I feel like a lot of people are just missing is, and I've been here too, like you don't have the bag size that you hope to have near the bottom here, and you're like, gosh, I've got to get more. And there's just not, unless I'll have to go watch the episode, but there's not like any places that are just screaming huge opportunities to make a lot of, for instance, passive income. I know there's a lot of passive income plays, but none of them are like screaming, hey, come and use me, and in such a way that you're also mitigating risk reasonably so. But maybe there's something here. I have to go watch it.
The Ink and PulseX pair that we talked about earlier, that's my one play right now. I mean, beyond like node validating and single-sided stake and hex, but as far as risk with impermanent loss and everything that's factored in there, the Ink and PulseX pair is the far as I'm willing to venture.
Sure, I like it. Yeah, I love this. I love people. There are so many memes on Twitter over the last few days of people saying buy the dips. I go look in the comments and people are like, with what money, sir? And man, I feel like that's where most people are, right? It's like, with what additional capital do you buy the dips? I've got a rental I'm selling, so I'll have some more capital there, which would be great. I think most people have injected what they the majority of what they could, and now we largely wait. So it'll be good. One thing that I also think is important to consider. So, and Corey and I learned this firsthand from investing in real estate. We did tons of deals from what people call tired landlords, and I remember thinking to myself, when we were doing these deals, a tired landlord is somebody that you'd contact, and for one reason or another, they got worn out of being a landlord, and they're willing to take a better price on their property just to move on from the headache. And I remember thinking, oh, like these poor guys, it's too bad that they've got to sell out. And then I became a tired landlord because I bought a deal that ended up becoming an absolute freaking nightmare. And I would do anything to get out of that stinker of a deal. And I found myself a tired landlord and a happy seller willing to get that stupid thing gone at a discount just to be done with it. And make no mistake about it, the people that are strong hands here, everybody has a scenario at which they need to sell and do something with their money. And so I'm hopeful we don't have to wait too long, because you don't want the diamond hands to turn into sellers because they're forced to. So we'll see, but something just to keep in the back of your head there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a great question. I like this one. Can the RH ecosystem pump without him injecting the money from ETH? Pretty much, can it take off via organic adoption?
Sure.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. So two scenarios, right? The one scenario is with RH. The other is without him. Make no mistake about it, they are drastically different scenarios, very different scenarios. But gosh, yeah, I mean, I don't think you have so many people that just seem our only hope is RH injecting capital. And I just don't think that's the case. I think there's plenty of people out there that have capital that if you had clarity around the case, and there was a price chart for which they said, hey, it's looking like bottoming is in. I like some of the tech here with the different DeFi things going on. I like platforms like Coast. Maybe they want to come and leverage trade on Fame. Like, there's a lot of cool things that already exist in the crypto space that people like, that are here on Pulse Chain, that are frankly just better deals that you're earlier to, because those other things are already big and have blown up. So I think that I think there's money that wants to come in and utilize those things. We just need a setup for which it makes sense for them to come, and then green candles really kind of sell themselves. So, I don't think you need Richard just dumping an ETH for us to do anything. I think there's plenty of scenarios where we can do fine, but for monstrous gains, like, you need Richard. You just do.
Yeah, I mean, him streaming again would also bring in some green candles without him injecting liquidity. So, but we need clarity first before we can get him in streaming again, because the reason why he's silent is because of the SEC BS that's all going behind the background. So, yeah, clarity and him streaming again. I mean, yeah, you hold on to your shorts.
Yep, agreed.
Texas got a lot of tired landlords.
All the tired landlords.
Hey,
Absolutely.
sir.
Absolutely. Yep. Tired dip buyer. We hear you. It's just a matter of being patient. So I'm telling you guys, like, there's a lot. We stream, a ton, and we're always looking at stuff. But there's definitely something to be said about taking a break. So, like, give yourself breaks. If you're feeling worn out, it's fine. In fact, I was talking to my little brother last night, and he's like, honestly, I'm not going on Twitter. I hardly look at my portfolio anymore unless it's time I have some more capital and I want to look at buying some more. But he's like, it's put me in a place where I feel good because I know I'm invested, but also like there's not something that's going to happen on a daily basis that I need to stress myself out over. I think that's a really good take. You know what I mean?
Especially right now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Nothing going on right now.
Exactly. So cool.
Go touch some grass.
Yeah, go touch some grass. Agreed. Yeah. So once again, we're going to have Stoic on later next week. We'll have Buck and Dylan on to be able to talk about the markets. There's still plenty of cool things going on in Pulse Chain. And man, the market will value us correctly at some point here, I think sooner than not. And so make it to 2025 has been our slogan for quite a while now. And I think that stands and still is in play. Any other things, Corey, you want to mention before we jump off today?
I won't be able to stream tomorrow. So I'll be off tomorrow, guys. And then we'll be back on Friday for Open Mic Friday. Feel free to come on, talk about anything money, anything real estate, anything crypto. It's your guys' show. So come on and have fun with us. And that's it. Go touch some grass. Don't stare at the charts all day. Don't stare at Twitter all day, especially Twitter. Twitter can be awfully toxic. And go enjoy your life. That's it, man.
Agreed.
Hit the likes, smash the subscribe on your way out. Help our algorithm. And we'll see you guys Friday.
Sounds good, guys. See you then.
Peace.